Nerdrotic.com.
Hello, friends. Welcome to Petard Season 2, Episode 7, Monsters. And it's monsters who have destroyed Star Trek because this episode was petarded. Absolutely, utterly petarded. I will say, like the later seasons with Star Trek Discovery, I'm laughing unintentionally more for this show than any average comedy coming out today. Because it's bad. Woo! I completely understand why they released a season 3 trailer in the middle of this, because my God, it's a complete crap show. Let's see who's here. Oh, why did that get all messed up? Oh, I know why. Because I put the chat in. That's why. Let's do that. That's even better. Hello, Eric K. Hello, just another red shirt. I didn't know you guys would be up. Didn't even want to bother you with a notification this late at night. It is 12:40 a.m. It is the 15th. It's not tax day because of a holiday. It's not till 18th. So our pound of flesh, if you're in the United States of America, we have to give our pound of flesh to the government. Taxation is theft. Taxation is theft. And it's going to hurt this year because I'm still paying California taxes. But next year, it's going to hurt a little less because I won't be paying California taxes. But what hurts is what's happening to Star Trek, our beloved Star Trek. You know, it's our happy place. It was a thing that, like, back in the 90s, I don't know about you guys, but I'd get home from hard days at work. This was back in the 90s. So it wasn't that hard. I was working at the Warehouse Records, and I worked a second job delivering auto parts for a company called WorldPack. I was in my 20s. I wasn't making a lot of money. I was in an apartment that was the $500 a month for rent, filled with cockroaches. It was in, what do you call them? That was the Temple Beth Israel in San Diego. So it was their old hospital wing where they would let their nurses and their doctors stay. And I lived in some apartment that was built in the 20s or 30s with my first wife at the time and 2 cats, 1 tiny bedroom, a kitchenette, and a little living room, right? So, and totally fine living there, by the way. I remember seeing Hail Bop. I had a little lawn in the front yard, so I could see the comet Hail Bop, which was fucking cool, by the way, to see that. Where else did I see there? Oh, I'm totally going off on a tangent, but who cares? It's Petard review. You don't want to hear about the show. I was watering my little patch of lawn with my at the time really long hair. Yes, like insanely long hair down to my buttocks, and my Danzig shirt and my black shorts and my combat boots. And you know who stopped in front of my frickin' house? Not kidding you. This was before Hail Bob. Bob Dole. Bob fucking Dole. So I lived up from the San Diego airport. The Republican National Convention was in San Diego. And this motorcade comes up, and a bunch of us were like, what the hell's going on? And Bob Dole gets out the car, starts shaking our hand. I'm Bob Dole. So I met Bob Dole. It's the only presidential candidate. I've met Trump. I've met Trump, but it was before he was a president. It was at the Super Bowl where the 49ers kicked the shit out of my Chargers. I met Trump there. But yeah, I met Bob Dole. It's so fucking surreal. And then he walked away, and I'm like, wow, that was bizarre. But that's life. That's when life was kind of cool, kind of normal. I'm not too sure now. Things are getting better. I feel like the winds of change are coming. The tide is turning. But unfortunately, I think our franchises, our beloved franchises, are going to be in ashes by the time things turn around. And it will be a decade before they're revived, hopefully by somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing, or they just remain dead. Kind of like, apologies to Razor Fist, The Shadow, Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon, Zorro, Conan right now. I mean, stuff that was super popular a long time ago that's not popular anymore, because everything has an expiration date. That's why it was so important to turn around Star Trek when we could. That's why we fought so hard to go, hey, CBS, which is no longer CBS, which is no longer Viacom CBS, which is now Paramount. We should have fired Kurtzman and brought in somebody, anybody, Robert Meyer Burnett, that's just a name off the top of my head, to bring in, to write and make some good Star Trek, who loves it deeply and would make something good. Seth MacFarlane. I know a lot of you won't agree with the guy politically, but the guy loves Star Trek. And I don't either. But he loves Star Trek. There's no doubt that he loves Star Trek, and I think he would make a better Star Trek. Hell, Brian Fuller probably would have made a better Star Trek, and he got usurped by Alex Kurtzman, as some of you may know. He didn't leave the project. He was forced out. And what the fuck? I mean, we've got, how many are on the air now? We've got 4 Star Trek shows on the air. Prodigy, haven't watched it because I'm not a kid, which I know is a repurposed show that they just put Janeway in. Then there is Lower Decks, which is, I mean, it's a dumb cartoon. It's probably the best thing they've done. I don't like it. I'm not a Rick and Morty fan, so I wouldn't like that. I don't like the kind of animation. Not into it. Star Trek Discovery, which is just inexplicable why that is still on the air. And Picard. Now, I did get a pretty reasonable response when I asked, like, somebody in the know, like, really, like, just tell me how this is still on the air. Like, I just need to make sense of it just so I know I'm not totally insane. And the reason I was told is they are perfectly happy with what they have. They weren't shooting for the stars like we thought they were. Like, we thought they were trying to make Star Trek Star Wars. Like, they were trying to make it something great. No. They just wanted a franchise that they can say that they're running. They make enough money. It for right now survives. And they're perfectly okay with CW soap opera Star Trek. It looks like that time might be running out. With Doctor Who, we have Russell T. Davies coming in. The BBC gave up control of a franchise that they had for almost 6 decades. They gave up control. It now is in the control of Sony and why did I almost say Bad Wolf? I almost said Bad Reboot. Bad Wolf. Warner Brothers just fired pretty much everyone involved in hiring Jar Jar Abrams and giving him $500 million to repurpose a cartoon. That's pretty much all he's done so far for Warner Brothers. Star Wars is a shit show. Disney's never going to change that. It's fucked. Yeah. And here we are with Star Trek. So deep into the game. It's like making videos, honestly. I will definitely do my Picard season 1 and season 2 review. It will be fun. It will be fun to pick this thing apart. I will not lie. God, now we got to talk about the episode. Okay. Whew, Jesus. Solo Boxer, Ilmatics, the Vicky Falcon, Selwyn, Lagbait. Hi. Matt Deckard, how are you, sir? How are your hats? Matt Deckard makes hats. Made one for Glenn Beck. Okay. So, none of you watched this. Do I need to do a recap on the last episode? Because they don't really go into... Remember, the last episode was Renee Picard. They had to keep her from Q. They had to make sure she went to quarantine, to make sure she goes to Europa to find the microbe that she's going to bring back. How is she going to do this in 2024? I'm not sure. There is, 2 kilometers of ice that is so hard, it's pretty much like granite that she's going to have to dig through, or she's going to have to wait for one of the spouts that would destroy her ship. I don't know. I am not a scientist. I am not a biologist. I don't even know if she's a girl because I'm not a biologist, but that would be pretty rough in 2024. Whatever. Doesn't matter because they don't bring her up the entire fucking episode. Well, they do once. Agnes Girardi, the drummer from Scott Pilgrim, is semi-assimilated. The Borg Queen is now in control of her body. They deal with that a little later in the episode. Picard's in a coma because he got hit by a car, saving Rene Picard. And we spent half the episode going, are we or are we not going to get into his head to figure out what is wrong and find out how abusive his father was? Well, it turns out they subverted our expectations on that a little bit. So as usual, and like what they're trying to do is what George R. R. Martin does, okay? So George R. R. Martin, as critical as I have been and will be of a man who set out to subvert the tropes of Tolkien and did it by not ending the book, if endings are tropes, but very talented writer, had a book series that I was very much into, and then he told me basically to fuck off as a fan. So I did. But before that, like, he wrote really well. And what he did really well, and what a lot of writers try to copy, is how he subverts expectations. But what George does different is they're still heroes. There aren't things that are off limits. It's not just white man bad. It's women can be just as bad as men. There's equality, true equality in his writing. And what he likes to do in each chapter of a book is kind of open up, put the character in a place where you didn't leave he doesn't really do chronological. So he does chapters through people's perspective, but when you get to a new chapter, that character is in a completely different place than he or she was in the previous chapter, trying to put you in the middle of the action. Jar Jar Abrams tries to do that. It's a trick of writing, and you have to be really fucking good to deliver on this. It's kind of like the unreliable narrator. You have to be really good to deliver on this. It can be used as a gimmick, but if you suck, it just ends up being hollow, shallow, which all of this is. All of this is. Alex Kurtzman, Damon Lindelof, even Matt Reeves are descendants, are disciples of Jar Jar Abrams. Matt Reeves probably being the best of them all. Probably because he doesn't do much work with the guy anymore. But that being said, we start out with Picard being psychoanalyzed by Baltar. That's right, Baltar. Still looking pretty good. I think he'd make a great doctor, by the way. Don't you? I think he'd make a fantastic doctor. Baltar is in a Deep Space Nine uniform. You know, it's great when we see people in uniforms. It's clear that, you know, Patrick Stewart, one of the things he, I can't think of words right now because it's so late. He didn't want to wear uniforms in this new series. He didn't want to be with any of the new cast members, and that's still the case. You know, people, including myself, were kind of like, "Wow, this first episode, man, looks like they're trying," because like they did the Starfleet shit. It was such a fucking bait and switch. So Baltar in a Deep Space Nine uniform is psychoanalyzing Picard and doing it in the most petarded way. So we open up the episode and they broke a record. They got fucking dumb in under a minute. Now, there was a couple of minutes of previously on, but actual show time, it was under a minute before they said something stupid. So apparently Picard is claustrophobic. So he doesn't like closed in spaces. So you know how he cures that? By going out and exploring the infinite cosmos in a very enclosed spaceship. I don't know if they run these scripts by anybody. I don't know if this is Hollywood. They've all been the therapists. They all know them. They could talk to them. It's fucking stupid. Yeah, I wanted to cure my claustrophobia by going back to prison. And they talk about all his closest friends call him captain, and they're trying to get to the bottom of something. And it's got something to do with this coma, and it's got something to do with his mom and the monsters that she saw and the flashbacks of her being dragged away. And then Picard's like, I don't want to do this psychoanalyzing bullshit. And then Baltar goes, listen, you're here for an hour. We need to do something. Tell me a joke. Well, Picard doesn't know any jokes. So he says, Picard, tell me a story. So Picard starts a story. There is a queen with fiery red hair who was a female. And we know what they're trying to say. They're trying to say queens can be men too. Except they can't. Well, I guess they can if they want to be. If you really want to be. But when you're identifying with a queen, you're going to automatically assume it's a female. But we're now living in a world where we can't automatically assume that because that would be bad. When I hear the word queen, I'm going to think of a lady on a throne with a crown or a guy in drag in San Francisco singing the Bee Gees. I actually know a couple guys who do that, who sing Bee Gees. He says he was a female. And apparently all time is borrowed. And when it shows Picard's mom painting on that window, they're at Chateau Picard again in that glass room. She's painting on a window. And Picard says, I don't want to be like Dad. I want to be like you. And he says it in a way like he wants to be a girl, not a boy. Not, I don't want to turn out like Dad. I want to turn out like you. It really, after that sentence was insinuated, I want to be like you. And, with Star Trek and modern Hollywood, that's what you have to wonder. And, and honestly, they leave this really open. They leave this really open. Now, I'm not saying this is what they're going to do. But when we get to the end of the episode and I explain something, it just couldn't be real. It couldn't be real. They won't. They won't do this. But they could. All right, so the paintings come alive, and she's painting like monsters and fairies and shit, and the monster comes alive, and then she says, no matter what you are or who you turn out to be, I'm always proud of whoever you decide to be. Okay. Then they go running through all the tunnels. There's tunnels below Chateau Picard because of World War II and da-da-da. Okay, so they run through the tunnels, and Mom gets dragged away by a monster, and little baby Picard is alone. Now, anytime now in current year Hollywood, they show a little boy, he's very scared. They've always got to be scared little boys. And the reason they have to be scared little boys is because of misogyny and the patriarchy. Because they have it worked out in their head that toxic masculinity is all based on fear and da-da-da. And sure, some of that stuff is there. Not saying it's not real, but they like all masculinity is based on fear. This thing that us men were born with, it's all fear-based. We're all just scared little boys wanting our mommies and hating our fathers. No, that's just Hollywood. That's not the rest of the real world. Meanwhile, at the hospital, Rios is with his He got kissed by Agnes Girardi, right? And then the lesbians are talking about that. But he's with Laris, not Laris. Remember, there's a human version of Laris who is a Gary 7 supervisor, and she is going to get into Picard's head. So she's got some little devicey thing, magic bullshit machine that she puts on her head, and her eyes go all white, and she goes into Picard's head, right? But he's starting to freak out a little bit, so they need to mellow him out. In the meantime, so the lesbians have to go back to the ship, 6 of 9 and Raffi. So they go back to the ship, which automatically is working again. And they're like, why is it automatically working? And where's Agnes? And oh my God, there's Borg shit everywhere because we left the crazy murderous psychopath with the Borg Queen. And what could possibly have gone wrong? Well, she took over the ship, but she fixed it too. So they're able to figure out everything. They see the last scene. They see that Agnes has been, she's been assimilated, and they got to find her right away when they're in the middle of something. They're middle of trying to help Picard, and they just take the fuck off. They're able to, at some point, no, it's not there yet. See, the problem with this show is the writers aren't good enough to write one story, and they've got like 5 jammed in here because they need you to remember good Star Trek because they can't write any good Star Trek. So they're like, just jam in the member berries as much as they can. And these stupid ass Star Trek fans will fucking eat anything up if we just mention Deep Space Nine once in a while, show them a fucking, a Cardassian skull, and they'll go, "Eee, Star Trek, we like it." And yeah, quite frankly, there's some people out there who do it, but it's like it's minute percentage. Star Trek fans are fucking smart, okay? They're smart. That's why there's very few of them left watching this crap. Okay, so we're back to Baltar psychoanalyzing Picard, and they mentioned, well, there's some deep, dark secret that even a Betazoid could not figure out. So, yeah, there's a deep, dark secret. Q had insinuated this too. By the way, no Q in this episode at all. At all. No Sung in this episode. No Soji, whatever fuck her name is in this episode. Okay, so there's a lost boy in the dungeon. That's basically where Picard's story ended. And then the Baltar says there's 1,000 ways to die, and that kind of triggers something in Picard. We see more scared little boy. Baltar and Picard just talk psychoanalyzing shit. Quite frankly, I was making the thumbnail during this part and didn't give a fuck, and it didn't matter. Laris, not Laris, gets into Picard's head. She finds the scared little boy, and she's like, "What are you doing here alone? I'm gonna help you." Okay, so the Picard was freaking out, right, with Laris in his head. Not Laris. So Rios called his doctor girlfriend, his Jaina, and she brought her kid because, of course, a Latina is going to be a single mom. That's not stereotypical. Quite frankly, if Hollywood had their way, it'd all be single moms, right? Again, no disrespect to single moms. You exist. You're awesome. You do what you can. Just saying. They had to hook up Rios. And quite frankly, the only semi-decent thing about this entire fucking series is the interaction between Dr. Lady and Rios. The acting is good. They have chemistry, but it's like in little short pieces, right? So Rios just fucking tells her, like, I'm from space. Well, I'm actually from Chile, but I work in space. And she freaks out. And then Rios gets another magic bullshit machine that's going to help calm down Picard with gamma rays. I don't know how gamma rays which are highly radioactive and deadly to human beings, are going to calm down Picard's mind, but whatever, it's science fiction. So what does the man from the future, the Starfleet captain, do? He hands the magic bullshit machine to the doctor from the 24th century because she's a woman and she's a doctor and he trusts her. And all she does is fucking hold it up to his head. Like, you couldn't do that? For one, you know what it does. Like, you have some medical training. You're a captain, right? Whatever. Fucking stupid. Meanwhile, back with the lesbians. They're going to track down Borg Girardi, and they're trying to figure out what she's doing. And they're babbling about, like, how they're going to grow old together. I've got news for you. You two are already old. I'm old, and you're older than me. Or at least one of you looks older than me. 7 to 9, still looking good. Jerry Hall, still looking good. But quite frankly, I think the most attractive person in the show is Laris, only with her Romulan ears. That makes me weird. I understand that, but I'm just being real with you guys. So the Borg tech now works on the ship, and they're able to, they saw Girardi was Borged out, and they got to go find her. Rios is now so smitten with his doctor friend. He's like, I'm going to fuck the future. Fuck time. I'm going to take you back to the ship. So she takes the kid and her to the ship, and they freak out. And he's probably going to get laid. I don't know what they're going to do with the kid. Probably have him sit at the captain's seat, and he'll probably take off at the ship while they're out back fucking or whatever. The lesbians tracked Girardi down to a bar. She was at a bar the night before. She broke a window. She broke a window to keep her endorphins up. I mean, it's downtown LA. You want to keep your endorphins up. Let's go find some speed. But she does that. And if the endorphins stay up, then the Borg Queen stays in control of her body, and then she'll be able to assimilate the entire planet. And it looks like they doomed the planet by bringing the Borg Queen to the past with a planet that couldn't defend itself. You know, there were people actually trying to say that wasn't a good idea. But okay, so it turns out that Baltar is Picard's dad. And there is a line. There is a line. And I'm going to read it because I just posted it on Twitter. Just posted it on Twitter. Thanks, Eric. I totally forget to share this on Twitter every time I do this, but it's 12:45. I'll put it in the community section of the big channel later. So I tweeted that they either didn't watch Star Trek The Next Generation or they don't care. So I show a picture of Picard's dad, who's very bald. And then the next picture says, you lived, and this is Baltar, who was Picard's dad, says, you lived longer than I did, but I got to keep my hair. See, I'll try to show you. There you go. Picard's dad. Picard's dad. Picard's dad. Picard's dad. I mean, at this point, like, duh, of course not. All right, so I'm sure Major Grin is already on top of that. He's already made a video. I'll go watch it later. I know he made one. So, turns out, and this is the subversion of expectations, Picard's dad was trying to protect him from his fucking psycho mom. Apparently, mom in the 23rd century was crazy, and they couldn't fix it. with all of their technology. She didn't want help, so they never bothered getting any. So they just left her around to abuse her son. So she would take him down in the tunnels, and he got trapped, and she just fucking left him there. And if he didn't drop his little art book, his dad wouldn't have found him. So they made his dad kind of a good guy. And his dad said, yeah, maybe. Because at first, Picard goes, Father, you were a monster. And it's like, you didn't know any of this shit? You're 97. You didn't know any of this shit. Really? Okay. So he finds out later that his dad wasn't so bad. His dad was just protective. His dad was trying to do what he could with the sick mom. Probably wasn't perfect. Nobody is. And he goes, well, maybe I don't know you as much as I thought I did. That was a perfect, by the way, impression of Picard in this episode. And then, of course, it can't just be done there. Lars, not Lars, goes, oh, wait, there's something more to this. And then it flashes and everybody wakes up and then they are on to the fucking next thing. So Picard goes, I think we've taken a quantum leap. And she goes, well, okay, well, I'm going to tell you something. I'm actually Romulan, but I'm not Lars still. So I'm Lars, not Lars, but I'm not human. I'm Romulan because sometimes we use the same species, which totally fucks up everything about the Gary 7 supervisor thing. But at this point, I'm past it. I understand. Kurtzman, we got an understanding here. You and me, buddy. You little soy-filled bastard, you little beta. I understand that you just wanted a franchise. I understand that, like, you went to the franchise store and you bought a franchise and you thought you were getting plain rap franchise and you got your hands on Star Trek. You did what you could to get your hands on Star Trek. You won, dude. You won. I know that all this time you've had it, you haven't bothered to watch any fucking Star Trek because you don't give a fuck. We know this now. This is a fact. We know this now. So I understand. You don't care. You don't care what fans think. You don't care what anybody thinks. You're going to use Star Wars as your little personal platform to try to get other work, and you'll probably get it because you know what? Sometimes life isn't fair, and the most talented people don't get the best jobs, and the cream doesn't rise to the top in a toxic bullshit garbage environment like Hollywood, where the best backstabber wins. And then you fucks go out and try to tell us how to live and tell you how virtuous you are while you're butt chugging cocaine off of a male hooker's ass. So it keeps his hair. The lesbians are on the case of the drummer from Scott Pilgrim. And Picard's, through his epiphany, figures out that, wait a minute, my crazy psychotic mom said that I'm going to listen to, said there is no better teacher than your enemy. What? There is no better teacher than your enemy. Well, for one, somebody would have to have an enemy to have the good teacher. I think there's a lot of people in the world who don't have they might have people they don't like, but I mean, enemy. You kind of want to go through life without having them, you know? Before I started YouTubing, I didn't have enemies. I still don't. Some people might see me differently, but I don't have enemies. Stupid. But so he goes, oh, I've got to get to Q. This is about Q. This isn't about me. So we need to summon Q. And not Laris, who can do just about anything. She can't do that. But you know who can? Guinan, not Guinan. So Laris, not Laris, is out of the picture. She just left. And Picard, beams his way to 10 forward in LA, downtown LA, to Guinan, not Guinan, who was going to leave, but I guess decided to stay. And she just happens to know how to summon a Q. Because the Elarians had a war with them, and then they made peace. They made peace because the Elarians think food and drink is the finest thing, which, okay, I'm good with that. I mean, like a non-alcoholic drink, like Perrier, or coffee, or more coffee. You get what I'm saying. So they made peace with the Q continuum over a bottle that looks just like a genie bottle. And that moment is trapped in the bottle. So to summon a Q, you open the bottle, you drink the bottle. Music is trapped. We see the world like music because they need to rip off Lord of the Rings and every fucking thing else. And she drinks. So Guinan, not Guinan, summons the Q. And he doesn't show up. So everything shakes, everything goes crazy, and he doesn't show up. Obviously, Q is dying. The continuum is broken, whatever. And Q doesn't show up. But you know who does? A white guy. So a white guy shows up at a bar, and he orders white wine. Yes, Guinan, not Guinan, guesses that he likes white wine, although he wants to order bourbon. I don't even know what the fuck that means. And then he wants to go read nonfiction. No, he's not a housewife from Marin. He's just a white guy. So yeah, he probably likes white wine. And of course he liked white wine. But he said he's more into science fiction. And then he asks him if he's like, do you believe we're alone in the universe? And they go, we're alone right here. And he's all, yeah. Well, and he whips out his iPad and he shows Picard beaming down in front of 10 forward. And then he arrests him because he's Fox Mulder. And that's where the episode ends. I honestly don't know what the whole point of that was. If we look at it story-wise, the whole point was to find out that Picard's mom, there's still a problem with Picard's mom. She was psychotic. His dad wasn't as bad. But the whole point was to find out that there might be something wrong with Q. So we're 7 episodes in. We have no idea what's wrong with Q. We don't know where he is. He's barely in this season, although he's on the fucking poster with Picard. I mean, this is such a waste of a great character that I loved. And I wish he didn't come back, but whatever. It's such a waste of Picard. It's a waste of everything else. And we know it's meaningless because they're going to give us the show that we all wanted, except here's the rub. Don't get excited about season 3 and the crew coming back. No, get the opposite of excited. Feel either nothing or dread. I would just say feel nothing, go off and do something else, watch old Star Trek Discovery, because Akiva Goldsman is writing for them. So it will suck. I promise you it will suck. So the writer of this episode was Jane Maggs, who has written absolutely nothing except some soap opera-y shit. It's terrible. It's bad. It's not going to get any better. There'll be one more season and it's over. I think there'll be one more season of Discovery and it's over. Strange New Worlds will come. It will suck just as much as this because Akiva Goldsman is writing it. And you got to wonder, like, why is Kurtzman just recycling these crappy writers? I have an answer for you. People don't want to work with him. I repeat, people do not want to work with him. Because Hollywood knows this stuff is garbage. Paramount knows it's garbage. Kurtzman knows it's garbage. So that hope of Ronald D. Moore or Naren Shankar coming, not happening. These guys they care about their legacy and their career. And why would they work for Alex Kurtzman? These are real writers. They don't want the stain on their name. So let's get to you guys. Let's get to you guys. Where was I? Oh, this would help. Oh, I don't need this up anymore. I got so much fracking work done today. It was unbelievable. And I even managed to have a little drive with my wife around town for like the first time since I moved here. It was nice. Spend a little time with little wifey poo. She's awesome. All right. I'm pulling up what I need to pull up there. There we go. That works. And let's do this. Sorry. Should have had this ready. I didn't. Let's go to the studio. There we go. That one's up. And we have Craig Road Jr. Thank you for the $5. Craig, how are you? What are you doing up so late? Past your bedtime. I watched DMZ. How was DMZ? You know, that was a decent comic. It was a decent comic. It wasn't my favorite. I'm like, it's just a personal thing. I'm like really over post-apocalyptic. Just fucking dead over it. Raised by Wolves and Snowpiercer. And I realized that Paramount sci-fi shows are written by people who hate sci-fi. And this is hell. Yes. I need to see Raised by Wolves. It looks intriguing. I'm just like, I don't want to get into something that's woke as hell. And I don't know about Snowpiercer. I like the movie. I did. DMZ, okay comic. Raised by Wolves is intriguing. That's something I will watch. Thank you, Craig. And you're not wrong. For the people who watched Halo, I mean, yeah, Paramount is CBS, so it's the Olds network. I mean, they make CSI and Hawaii Five-0. That's what they do. They do not make sci-fi. Sci-fi is not something that you can just make. That's why it was hard. That's why it's genre. That's why it hasn't taken over. That's why it's much easier to write an action show or a drama show. Well, it's getting less easy these days because it's expensive and it's smart. Sir Ubasan for $5 says, does your wife plan on reclaiming what the Kamiformis took from her? Her hair salon venture in the Lone State? Prayers for you and all good speed. I really appreciate that, my friend, and I will pass that on. I think she's over it. You know, she was like working her way towards retirement anyway, and what she's trying to do right now is acclimate into a new state. She's trying to like get her feet here, trying to make friends. You know, like we have to restart our fucking life, you know, and like, you know, she had a network of friends in San Francisco. A lot of them have left though. So that's what she's going to do. She's going to, I think, travel. She still does hair. So she's got very special clients that she still does. And she travels back to San Francisco once every 6 weeks to go do hair. And I think that keeps her like going and energized and stuff. But yeah, it was a tough year for her. It was really bad watching it, and it was really tough on her. But we got through it. She's tough. She can handle it. But I really appreciate that. You guys have been great. You've been very supportive. All the kind words. We really appreciate it. Fuck California. Simon, how are you? Thank you. And thanks again, Sir Wasan. That was really nice. Simon for $20. I think that Kurtzman is the problem rather than Alex is the doppelganger of Eugene Roddenberry. Why? Eugene allows it to exist regardless of canon and writing excellence just to get money for whatever motive did he hate. His father, Gene Roddenberry, you know, Hollywood kid, probably. Eugene does fund a lot of very woke enterprises. He does. Yeah, I don't know. You know, Gene Roddenberry wasn't a perfect human being. but he was a good television producer. Rick Berman is the one I've already publicly apologized to because I used to give that guy a lot of crap. And I took it all back. I think other people would have been better. But you're right. I think he just wants cash and he lets this go on. Fuck legacy. They don't care about legacy. They don't care. They have told everyone they don't care. They just had Star Trek Chicago over the weekend and nobody was talking about it. It was an empty building. There was probably like 3,000 or 4,000 people there if they were lucky. Cons are in big trouble. See, cons can only exist in big cities. Big cities still have weird restrictions. Like, well, the WonderCon, for example, had a mask restriction. Now, apparently it was pretty fast and loose, but I'm not going anywhere where I have to put on a mask. Period. I'm done. I'm done with the theater. And yeah, Star Trek looked just dead. I mean, the 1/6 scale action figures look great, but I'm not going to buy any of them. I'm not going to give them any fucking money. I have secondhand stuff. I got a Kirk one. I got my Kirk in his captain chair behind me. It's one of the fucking best pieces. It's got sound effects. It's really cool. Cool as hell. Nell, and thank you again for the $20, Simon, and the $2 for $22 total. I appreciate that. Nell Fish for $3. Super sticker. What's up? Thank you. The Chad for $1.99. Welcome to Texas. Hope to see you at Fan Expo. You will see me at Fan Expo. I will be there. We're working on the Chad. We're working on getting a place so we can meet up on the 16th. We're still working on it, but we'll have a place pretty soon. I mean, it's a couple months away, so we got time. But I will see you there. Oh, wow. You did not have to do that, Peter Davison. I thank you for the $5 Australian. He says, parcel is on the way from Australia. Please collect when it arrives. I will, sir, and I will let you know when it arrives. Thank you. I appreciate it. Sent me a giant koala, that Peter Davison. G.S. Pena for $1.99. Lost my dog. Oh, no. Earlier today. Need your rage now. Oh, dude. I hope you find your doggo. Is it like lost, took off lost, or like gone lost? Either way, that sucks. I'm sorry, buddy. Poor doggo. Doggos are awesome. I got 3. They're getting old, though. They're getting pretty old. 2 of them are getting really old. Prince Lethal for $2 Australian. Hey, babe. Happy Good Friday. Oh, is it good? Is that the holiday? Thanks, babe. Lethal. What time is it down there anyway? I know it's the future. It's the future. Lethal lightning. Oh my God. Okay, let's go over here. Yeah, I'm glad this is almost over. I was so bummed. I thought it was only 8 episodes, and then Az told me it was 10, and I got a little ill. I did. We got a Good Friday Night Tights today, later in a few hours. Got Chris Gore joining us, and Elon trying to buy Twitter. It feels like I said, the winds of change. I feel it. I feel some winning coming. Sure, our franchises are all going to die, but hey, maybe RTD turns Doctor Who around. There's like a 0.1% chance it could happen. Star Trek's fuck, Star Wars is fuck, Marvel Comics is fuck, DC Comics is fuck. Hey, maybe DC gets revamped just in time for the superhero era to end. Hey, maybe they bring back the Snyderverse. I'd be fine with that. I'm okay with that. They better bring back Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill is good Superman. Alex Patron for $25. Wow. Thank you. I had nothing to say. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate it. I really do. Matt Deckard for $5. Frack, yeah, Baltar would make an excellent doctor, wouldn't he? He would be a really good doctor. He looks like a Paul McGann type doctor, right? I think he would be excellent. And he's a little older now, so what? Guy still looks pretty good for his age, which is probably my age, right? Thank you, Matt. See you in Vegas, Matt. See you in Vegas. I got to get back to them. Oh yeah, we're everything's on hold until I pay taxes. So I can't book the place in Dallas. I can't book the place in Las Vegas. I can't really make any decision at all until the taxes are done. They're done. I just need to cut a check. Which we all do, by the way. I mean, it's nothing new. Nothing new. Been doing it for years. Matthew Hammond for $5. I am so glad MGM and now Amazon have not corrupted Stargate. Stargate Universe was not great, but it is a million times better than the streaming services have done to my beloved franchise. Yeah, it's one of the shows I'm really looking forward to seeing, right? You guys have not done me wrong at all with your recommendations, right? I've got, Babylon 5 was a shit. Farscape was a shit. Can't wait to see Stargate. Can't wait. But I want to save it. It's good to have something out there, right? That I haven't seen. And the reason I didn't see it, folks, is because I was too busy reading comic books. I was selling comic books and reading comic books. Didn't have time for TV. I read anywhere between 5 to 10 comic books a day for 10 years straight. I don't read that many now. Before owning the shop, I read my little stack I got on Wednesday, like the night I got them. So I would get anywhere between 10, 20, 30, depending where it was on a Wednesday. And I'd burn through them that night. But like at the comic shop, I had to read as much as I could for 10 years. I haven't even figured out how many comics that is. I'm sure it's a lot. 10 years, 5 to 10 a day. Matthew Hammond for $5 more. Why is the show still on? Gary is going to die of cringe. I might. I got to write my will before that happens. My kids will just sell my fucking comics. Except for the ones I'm getting buried with. Can't have it. Amazing Fantasy 15. It's going in the ground with me or up in flames, whatever happens. No, I'm going to give it to my kids. Thank you, Matthew Hammond, for the $5. I appreciate it. I do. It would be way more fun to be talking about like UFOs right now. I think that's what I'm going to do when the culture war is over. When the culture war is over, I know I can hear you laughing out there. It might end someday. It might end. I don't think I'm not going to quit, but if it's over, then I'm just going to review shit and then do UFO talk at night. That's what I'm going to do. UFO, Bigfoot, shadow people, ancient civilizations. That's what I'm going to do. Rogue Thought for $5. Keep speaking the truth, Gary. I'll follow you through the hell these ideologues create and hopefully come out the other side. Go Elon. Cheers. Cheers to you, Rogue Thought. Thank you for the $5. I appreciate it. Yeah, Elon, yeah, it's really fucking cool seeing he's basically a shit posting billionaire. I bet you he watches fucking YouTube. I doubt he watches too much of it, but I bet you he watches some YouTube. Isn't it weird what's going on? I mean, we're seeing Fox talk about Disney regularly. And that's because my boy Drew Hernandez is forcing them to. Like, he's covering it every day. Seeing the protests at Disney, like, and I don't care that they're huge. They don't need to be huge. People are organizing themselves to protest at Disney. That is a giant step that's a huge fucking, like, get your white pills out. Take your white pills, and they taste good. They taste like little mints, like those little mints you get after dinner. They're white pills. That's a huge step in the right direction. People with common sense need to protest too. We need to do the things they do. We can't just sit back and wait for shit to change. It's not going to change. We have to change it. And this is how we do it. And, I mean, I don't think nobody wants the pendulum to swing in the extreme end of any direction, right? We want balance. Our country has been so far out of balance over the last 4 to 5 years. Well, 2 years in particular. Culturally out of balance for 4 to 5 to 6 to 10 years. The economy was good a few years, 3 or 4 years ago. It was really good. I hope it can be that good again. But I saw Uncle Joe today announce that he's going to do some equity plan. I mean, shit's fucking falling apart, and he's going to do an equity plan. And I don't mean financial equity. Social equity. Social equity. Got 8.9%, 8.8% inflation, and he's going to talk about social equity. He also shit his pants while he got shit on by a bird, so whatever. Gone, lost, unfortunately. Oh, no, J.S. Pena for $1.99. I'm sorry. Maybe, hopefully, I don't know if it's a he or she. Hopefully, they come home. I'll use the proper pronouns for the dog. Hopefully, they come home. I don't know where you are. It depends. It could be like... yeah, I don't even want to like put that. I hope your dog comes back. I really feel bad for you, man. For those of you who pray out there, pray for J.S. Pena's dog, please. I'll send good vibes. Sorry, buddy. Cliff 3188 for $4.99. Gary, will you and the FNT crew be celebrating the inevitable closure of Rooster Teeth after Warner Media Discovery merger? I stand with Vic. Yes, I will tip my cup of coffee, and I'm sure the booze drinkers will tip some booze for the shutting down of that piece of shit. I can't even fucking finish it. Organization. Fuck that piece of shit organization filled with a bunch of really foul human beings who tried to destroy a man's life for being popular and Christian. They just didn't like him. And apparently he was going to go out on his own and start his own thing. And they felt threatened by that. And that's what people do in Hollywood. They will band together to stab somebody else in the back. That is a very, very Hollywood thing to do. And the mental illness that is going through the fucking voiceover, that you voice over anime. And you're a bunch of psychopaths. Diddling kids, all kinds of shit. So you got one good guy there, and you drive him out. I feel bad for Vic. Star Trek Continues is a shit. If you haven't seen it, go see it. He's in it. I hope to meet him someday. But yeah, I didn't cover it a bunch. My small part to him showing his support was walking around the Star Trek convention that he was banned from with an I Stand With Vic shirt. And you know what was funny? Here's Vic's final revenge. Vic, I know you watch every one of my live streams, Vic, and I really appreciate it. I know you're my biggest fan. No, he's not watching. But if somebody does talk to him, and I don't know if they told him it, but the Star Trek convention in Vegas wasn't even a Star Trek convention. They canceled it, and nobody was there. And the fact of the matter is, if he was there, he would have attracted the biggest crowd and The motherfuckers there knew it, and that's why they didn't want him to go. So don't go. So go to conventions that'll have you, and he'll attract hundreds, maybe thousands of people and make that convention a lot of fucking money. Now, I got to give respect to Fan Expo. Fan Expo has had people threatening to quit because of Gina Carano, and they're basically saying fuck off. And that's all you need to say is no. That's all you need to say. Gina's going to go there. She is going to have the biggest crowd. You're going to have fucking Frodo at the convention in Florida, and I bet she will rival what Sean Astin, I'm getting tired, are going to attract. Her crowd will be the biggest. Will be the biggest crowd. I watched okay, I read that one. Good. Isn't it sucked? Like Craig, I would have like DMZ, I would have just automatically watched it 5 years ago. Now I'm like, nah. And I cover pop culture. It's what I do. It's my job. I mean, I like it too. But I mean, I'm fortunate enough where I can pick and choose now. And I'm just like, nah. No thanks. You know what's coming out? I couldn't see it. I wanted to see it tonight. I couldn't see it tonight, so I'm going to see it this weekend. I'm going to go see RRR on Saturday. I had to get my work done instead. And then The Northman is coming out. And I watched Chris Gore's review of it today, and I got more excited for it. I haven't been this excited for a movie in a long time. And what he said about it was awesome. And I don't even want to tell you because I want you to be surprised. But it's done by the guy who did The Lighthouse and Witch. I liked Witch. I didn't see The Lighthouse. So I imagine Eggers it's going to be a little trippy. I like Trippy, by the way. I love Trippy. Terry Gilliam is my favorite director of all time. So I'm down with Trippy. Can't wait to see it. It looks dope. I kind of figured that it's not all what it seems to be. And that's good. Hey, Gary, any chance to get Internet Historian on as a guest on Friday Night Tights? Would think he'd be an interesting addition to the panel and bring different perspective. I'd be absolutely open to it. 2% right. I apologize for messing up your name there. Thank you for the $20. Yeah, absolutely. I'm different perspectives are not what I worry about. I don't worry. The main concern, it's not even a concern, but my motivation for Friday Night Tights is mostly to make you laugh and bullshit with my friends. and I mean, the whole point is to entertain. So it's always got to be somebody who is going to entertain. And if entertaining is going to be a spirited debate sometimes, that's cool. That's fine. That's good. But I mean, X-Ray Girl handles it now. Like, it's a group effort. So Chrissy has suggested people. Jeremy's brought people on. Az has brought people on. Like, it's totally a team effort. So, and honestly, like I'll mention to X-Ray Girl, hey, I'd like to, I wanted to get Anthony Cumia back. I'm like, dude, I just like that guy. I think he's really fucking good. I think he's one of the guys I have been watching for years and years and years. So it was a real treat to have him on, and he's coming back. He's coming back. Yes. He's coming back. And then, it's so weird that I get to hang out and talk to Chris Gore. This guy I was watching on TV during the comic shop days. So I hope you like it. I hope you like it. You seem to. Last episode we had 13,000 people watching. That's nuts. And yeah, we're entertainment. So we're not news. And that's impressive. Jessica, my God, Jessica. $100. Hello. Thank you. Jessica, please. Why did I say Jessica? It says Nerdrotic. Thank you, Jessica. Nerdrotic, please tell your wife she is amazing. I can tell you from my own experience in marriage that we get to enjoy your wisdom every week because of her. I'm sure my husband would agree. I appreciate her and her support for you. You guys are an inspiration. Oh, Jessica, that's... I will pass that on to her. I will copy and paste that and message her. Yeah, she's... I don't want to get too mushy on you guys. I've known my wife since I was 15 years old. So we were friends for a long time, on and off dating, but like we've always been in touch, talked to each other. So I've known her for a long time. Only way on God's green earth I was going to get married again was to her. After the first marriage, I was like kind of done with it. I'm like, marriage, maybe not for me. But yeah, it's worked out really well. We got 2 awesome kids. And no, none of this would happen. When I was working for Tesla, had a pretty good job. It was the highest paying job I had ever had. Comic store, I did pretty well. But like it had some lean years too. So much so I had to get a second job. But like Tesla paid well. They looked for me. They found me on LinkedIn. They gave me the world. And one day I went to Melissa and I went, you know what? I feel like this YouTube thing's could work, but I gotta give it a real shot. I think this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. I feel it in my gut. I could be wrong. So I'm working for Tesla and I'm a parts guy. So parts guys are now hard to find. It used to be a hard job to get. Now it's like, if like my experience went on the market, I would have my choice of places to go. Because it's just a skill not a lot of people know anymore. But I'm a journeyman parts guy. I can work on multiple cars. Doesn't matter where I go. I can figure it out. And like within a day. So long story short, I'm like, hey, if it doesn't work out, in 6 months, I'll go back. It sucks that I'm giving up Tesla. But I wasn't super happy working for a corporation. And she was doing really well at the salon. So she's like, okay, you think it's a good idea? She said, fine. And at the time, it was just like a stupid time to do it. I was like, it just wasn't economically feasible at all. But I had some money saved up, right? And I'm like, hey, I've got enough stuff that I could eBay on the side. So that was the whole plan. I was going to do YouTube and eBay on the side, work towards getting the store. Then fucking Doctor Who happened. And like not 2 weeks later, Doctor Who happened. Was not planned. Within a month, I'm like, it like my life changed within a month. It was weird. I felt like I won the lottery, but something I worked for. But none of this happens without her, like supporting me. She could have said, fuck no. And I'd have gone, all right, I'm not going to sit there and argue with my wife about it. But she believed in me. She believed in me. So, yes, that's why I'm here. Oh, Pena. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh, gotcha. You did not have to give another super chat to tell me that. I am so sorry, dude. So his dog passed away, and I'm an idiot. I want to refund you that. I'm sorry about your doggo, man. That sucks. I've lost a couple of them. Dogs are cool too. Totally innocent. We don't deserve them. Hey, I'll tip one to your doggo. Greg Road Jr. for $5 says, when can we have a talk about HBO Fallout show casting? My son might want to have a talk with you about that, because my son is obsessed with the Fallout. My youngest, not happy, but it's funny from a kid's perspective. He's not happy, but he's like, whatever, I'll just play the game. Hollywood's stupid. I'm not going to watch the show anyway. So the Fallout is for people who used to play the game who are adults now, but people who still play that game are just going to play the game. And if they're going for a younger crowd, it's just not working. I'm not the first person to say this. Kids don't watch streaming services. Like the kids they're going for, that generational thing. And this is going to be a problem for Hollywood. This is a problem for music. This is a problem for comics. Comics lost multiple generations of kids to video games and now to anime and manga. But they had a chance. They abandoned them. And now kids buy either Dog Boy and then they graduate to My Hero Academia, and that's it. So kids aren't going to be reading superhero stuff. So the superhero movies have an expiration date. Once that's aged out, it's gone. Star Trek is aging out. It's gone. Star Wars is going to age out. It will be gone. Doctor Who, which was the one unique franchise that did capture a bunch of young kids not too long ago, like the Harry Potter generation. So it might stay around. It could, possibly. But for the most part, that stuff's going to age out. It's very sad. Video games are the future. Have been the future, will remain the future because they are interactive. They are art. They are a true form of art. And although I don't play them myself, I recognize that. And the same thing is going to go for scripted entertainment. I think the millennials might be the last generation who's really going to be into it. I don't think Gen Z is going to give a fuck about TV shows and movies. It's just a thought. But it's shitty, Craig. It's not good. It's Halo casting all over. It's everything we've seen with Marvel. It's everything we've seen. Mark Spears for $5 says, Gary, did you ever get the trading cards I sent you? These? Are these the ones you sent me, or are these the ones that were gifted for me from somebody else, Mark? Because I haven't opened all my mail yet. These are pretty dope. They're like cards and stuff. They go on the wall. They will go on the wall. If these aren't it, then they're in the mail that I haven't opened yet. I save my mail so we can take pictures of it for Instagram, and then I could read all the letters that are very nice. And, hopefully when things settle down, I will have a schedule to where I can do more toxic mailbag. Right now, I am, it's a little frazzling. I'm trying to, so my process is, like, I make a video and I put out the video, and that buys me like 3, 4, 5 days to get everything else done. Unpack, work on the office, figure out what equipment I need, train Garrett, talk to Perry. We're working on a massive video right now. So that's why there's going to be a little time between videos, unless I sneak one in, which I might. It's going to be like 3 or 4 more days till my next video comes out, at least. I don't think it'll be more than that. I don't like to go more than 10 days between videos, but sometimes I have to, because this one's a big mama. Mark, if those aren't the cards, then I'll check my mail. Okay, thanks, buddy. today I had to go on a mission because I vape. Like, it's what I do to relax. I vape. But I only vape one thing, and it's very particular. And I don't have the big vapey fucking thing you get at the vape shop that's like some apparatus. No, I like the stupid little vapey pens, and it's got to be a certain flavor pod, and if they don't have it, then I don't vape. And it's like the only like real vice I have left. Matthew Hammond for $20. Yeah, that was my mission today, is looking for those pods. So we spent an hour and a half looking for those pods, and we found them. Matthew Hammond for $20. Could you get Adam Baldwin on Friday Night Tights? Fuck yeah, if he'd come on. Would Adam Baldwin come on? Hell yeah, Mr. Gamergate himself. But fucking Jane, dude. Jane from Serenity, from Firefly. One of my favorite all-time shows. That'd be dope. Fuck yeah, I'd put him on. Yes. Why not? Why don't we try? Good Wrench and thank you for the donation for $20. Good Wrench for $10 says, thanks for putting on the hazmat suit to watch this sludge so I don't have to. Sad to feel like it's even making it difficult to enjoy the old ones. Oh, I'm sorry. I read that out of order. Good Wrench, we're going to do that again. We'll start with number 1 for $10. Hey, Gary, a few months watching, first time donating. Thank you very much. I'll be gentle. Love your show and the rest of the wider Nerdrotic G&G team's work. They do great work at Geeks and Gamers. Love those guys. I've been a long time Star Trek fan since I was a kid, messing with the rabbit ears, same here, on a couch to watch an episode. Thanks for putting on the hazmat suit and watching the sludge so I don't have to. Sad to feel like it's even making it difficult to enjoy the old ones. Yeah, I could still like watch Star Trek. I call it, the original series is Star Trek. No problem. Like, no problem. Or the movies. Next Gen, I got a little bit of a problem with. Deep Space Nine, much easier. Deep Space Nine, I can watch, no problem. No problem. But it is making it hard. It just depends. Like, I don't know. It'll be a long time before I can watch, like, old Star Wars, for sure. But, yeah, it's bad, man. And it's more damaging because, like, Star Wars is the biggest franchise out there. But there's more of Star Trek and Doctor Who. There's hundreds of episodes. Hundreds of episodes spanning decades. So there's just more of it. There's more of a story to fuck up. You know, Star Wars, aside from, like, with all respect to our EU friends out there, okay, there's 6 movies. And that's how we can just pretend there's 6 movies. Wex Kramer for $5 says, you may already know about, but have you watched Comet TV? Reminds me of old school sci-fi network. I have not. No, I'll check out Comet TV. It's comettv.com. I'll check it out. I did not know it. I will check it out. And thank you again, Jessica, for the $100. Wow. I remember seeing you at Chrissy's. You were at the karaoke at like 4 a.m, right? We got Derek Douglas for $20 Australian says, hi, Gary. Love the shows. Thank you. Sounds like your wife is a wonderful woman. She is. People that will stand by you, you're a worth their weight. I'll start that again. God dang it. People who will stand by you are worth their weight in gold. Keep up the good work. Do you think Thor, Muff, and Blunder will be a flop in the long run? I think it could be. This is not something and by the way, thank you for the kind words to Melissa. She's going to love all the love she got tonight. Yes, I think it's a possibility. I'm not ready quite yet to throw flop on a thumbnail, but I'm this close. Don't want to piss off Simu Liu. But the fact that we haven't seen a frame of footage and a trailer Sure, it could be because of all the reshoots and the cameos and Doctor Strange and but this fucking movie has been done for a year. You can't give us a frame of footage. You can't give us a frame of footage. We got the toys now. Why aren't you showing us female Thor? Why aren't you? Maybe because it looks bad. Maybe Taika Waititi was spending too much time, having sex with his cast members, which he got caught doing, by the way, which is whatever. I don't care. But, yeah, I don't know. It could be. It could be. Oh, I think Marvel's best days are far behind it. Dark Strange will do great because it's filled with cameos. But have you noticed his wig? Like, where they need some LGBTQ plus representation? In the hair department at Disney. That's where they need it. Common Nerd for $5. Gary, I do the ordering for a shop a little south of you. Hey, if you can't find local, let me know. I will special order for you as much as you need vape. Oh, shit. Okay. Common Nerd, I'll let you know. Thanks. Yeah, I'll buy it bulk from you. No special deals. I'll just buy it. I'll shoot you an email. Okay? Thanks. I appreciate that. I had a guy in Escondido who did that for me, but I'm not in Escondido anymore. All right. I gotta wrap things up, folks. I do. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me tonight. Yes, hair and makeup. We need some of the gays in hair and makeup. Heroine of Hyrule. You want to know a little secret about hair and makeup in Hollywood? They don't get the best of the best. You want to know why? Because the best of the best own salons and work at fashion. They don't even do fashion shows. They might do their own hair shows, but the best of the best have brilliant clients that they don't want to be away from, and they're not going to travel to deal with some dipshit celebrity. No, it's like your mid, and no disrespect to the hair and makeup people there, but it's mid-level. It's mid-level. It's not top tier. Top tier is my wife and her colleagues in San Francisco and New York and stuff. They're the top tier, sweetie. Hollywood ain't getting it. And that Doctor Strange wig looks like shit. It looks like utter shit. Especially the Defender Doctor Strange, which that's the one I like. I love Doctor Strange. Great character. That I'm afraid they're going to fuck up. They already kind of have. Okay. They already kind of have. I've got a video. It's going to bring up the Ancient One. Let's give you a little hint. I'm going to bring up the Ancient One. And from Doctor Strange. Not the one from the comics. The real Ancient One. No, the fake MCU Ancient One. Who was played by an actress I like quite a bit. It's just bad decision. Tilda Swinton. I like her. I think she's a good actress. She was really good in Constantine. Thanks. Heroine of Hyrule. Love for Mrs. Nerdrotic. Hail! It's like the Mrs. Nerdrotic episode. I love it. Okay. See you on Friday Night Tights. Where we have Chris Gore. We're starting at 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. You'll see Eric K there. You'll see Justin of the red shirt there. The awesome Modrotics. Nihilist Shadow. What's up, Nihilist Shadow? And we're going to talk about Elon. We're going to talk about Lord of the Rings. They're interesting. Susan came out and admitted that she got rid of the dislikes for corporations and not for the small creators. So we all knew that, right? But that extension, that nasty extension, isn't going away. It's not going away, and it's a beautiful thing. I think currently it's at I checked this morning, it was at 1.4 million dislikes. That's still pretty bad. Yeah, FNT is going to be awesome. I love Constantine 2, The Common Nerd. I think it's a good movie. I own it. Hey, you know what I got today or yesterday? Whoop, whoop. Yep. But I bought it off eBay. That's why it's open. I did not buy it from Amazon. I did not pre-order it. I did not give Disney any motherfucking money, not even 25%. Bought it off some guy, some gal at eBay. I'm sure Disney still gets the money, but at least my money goes to a human being. So that's the way I do it. I mean, the best way would be to just totally stop, but you know, I got a kid who loves this shit. So that's the only way I can work it out in my mind. It's I think if we hold the line, if we play some hardball, hold back your dollars, you know, maybe 2 or 3 years, things get better or start to get better. Okay. Maybe sooner. Shit is changing. But just like I said this around the Rise of Skywalker time. I said, you know, I don't think our franchises are going to survive it. Maybe one. And I hope it's your favorite. And I hope like they don't touch something you love like Stargate until shit gets better. I really don't. I don't want to see anybody go through this shit ever again. And in the meantime, go back and read some old stuff or watch some old stuff you haven't watched. That's what I do, and it's been great. But occasionally we get something good. You know, we get a nobody, which was great. Hopefully Northmen will be good. But Star Trek Picard is fucking terrible. It's fucking awful. Don't watch it. Did I like the Punisher TV show? I liked the first season. I thought the second season was trash. I loved him in Daredevil season 2. Thought he was fucking fantastic. All right, now I got to go. Yeah, I'm confused on the new time zone too, Eric. My body has not even gotten close to getting into Central Daylight Time, much less Central Standard Time. My body is firmly on Pacific Standard Time. And it just doesn't want to change. So I'm up until 2 a.m. every day. It's not good. I like to wake up early in the morning. I hate waking up at 10. I feel like I missed half the day. Anime. I am watching anime. I'm watching Parasite. When I get through Parasite, somebody just sent me like One Punch Man. Like a big, thick one. Thick. That's what she said. All right, now I'm really going to go. I could talk to you guys all night. You're awesome. Hey, thanks for supporting. What's up, Geek Tropology? How's it going? Just watched The Northman. It's awesome. Oh, that's so good to hear. Oh, I'm so fired up. I got my tickets already. I will be reviewing it. Where's your positive reviews? That could be one. So, yeah, season 2 of The Punisher was like post 2015, Me Too Time's Up, Girl Who's the Key to Everything bullshit. Season 1 was the shit. J.S. Pena, which did I miss one? Here, I'll check it, buddy. I saw the one where you lost your dog. Your dog passed away. I could read a couple more, but then I gotta go. There it is. I got you, Pena. I got you, buddy. He says, hey, I care about movies and TV shows. I know you do. So do I. I know you do, brother. The commenter, do you think a copyright strike can slow down a channel's growth? I was doing okay, and then bam, Stranger Things called. I don't know. Not necessarily. I think it can hurt the video's traction. If you hit me up, you might have to email me a couple times for it to like sync, because I just get a couple emails. Sorry. But I have Ryan from Ryan Kinnell gave me a form that I'll give you, that you fill out and you fight it, and you'll win. You'll absolutely win. And then you start winning those, and they stop dinging you. Because I rarely get dinged. Rarely. It's been months since I brought this up. By chance, have you watched the Brown Saber video by Wizards and Guns yet? No, I haven't. Still want you to. Yeah. Okay, for FNT panel's reaction. Oof, man. If you can, I would recommend DMing a reminder to X-Ray Girl. because I'll remember it. I'll even remember it in the morning. But once the show starts, like everything clears my head. It's not great, but it's just what happens. I forget sponsors, all kinds of shit. Thank you for the $10. Derek Douglas for 20 Australian says, "Hi Gary, I love your show. Sounds like your wife is one." I read that one. Okay, Susan Dolan. RTD wants to thoroughly retcon Doctor Who with Tom Holland as the Doctor. Saw either Google or Yahoo article, 60 years completely trash forever. I think that's probably April Fool's, Susan. Thank you for the $5. Or that's just another rumor. But Chris Chibnall did come out and say they're going to ignore the Timeless Children, which I have very little doubt. But they can't just ignore it. They need to erase it because one person ignores it, the other person doesn't. Simply cannot be ignored. You can't. The only way, they have to physically erase it from my mind by putting it in the canon because it's canon. I can't unsee it. It can't be undone unless they undo it in the show, which they will not do. I'm not even asking them to erase Jodie. And I got a video coming out in this. I could have gotten past it. I could have just said, I'll forget that era completely. But it's fucking with the origin. That's unacceptable. All right, Pena. Take care, buddy. Take care, Susan. Take care, Common Nerd. Thank you, Derek. 2% right. Thank you. I appreciate you all. Have a good night. Picard sucks. Picard sucks. My camera got knocked over. Sorry. I was like way off to the left or right. Whatever. X-Ray Girl will be producing tomorrow's show. So yes, if you email or DM X-Ray Girl, she will remind me. She's very good about that. She's like my my external memory. That's what she is. She's my external memory. And she's very, very good at her job. Very good at her job. Got to give her a raise. Don't tell her I said that. All right. Ciao.